Covered calls sound like a cheat code, but are they really? Let's talk about it. Yo, what is going on, Premium Chasers? I hope you are having a God-blessed day. Today, every single person that comments down below is going to get our small account starter kit, which is perfect for those of you that are just getting into selling options and collecting juicy premium. All you got to do is drop a comment, and I'll personally respond to you with that small account starter kit. And while you're down there, hit that like button and hit that subscribe button. But guys, today, we're going to be talking about covered calls primarily, and are they the cheat code that many make it out to be? And we're going to be talking about all the risks, the time to do covered calls, and the times to not do covered calls. So let's go over the shoulder right away. So the first thing let's define is, what is a covered call, okay? And I'll quickly go over this because I'm going to assume since you clicked this video, you probably already have a basic understanding of a covered call. A covered call is essentially you saying you have 100 shares of, let's say in this example, Amazon, and you want to put those up and sell a covered call on them. What you're basically saying is, I'm willing to sell my 100 shares of Amazon on X date for X price and collect a premium from an options buyer. Let's take a look. For example, we would just go over to trade Amazon options. We will click sell a call, and then this is where we select our expiration date. I like to stick to 30 to 45 days out. I'll go 36 days out right here. You could see current share price is 211. Let's say, my current market value of my shares I bought for around market value 211. And you know what? If it hits, 225 in 36 days, I'd totally be cool selling my 100 shares. And if that's the case, I would collect $245 in premium. You guys already know I love putting everything into my covered call calculator, so I'll quickly put 255 there. Our price that we're willing to sell our shares potentially is 225, right? And then our purchase strike price, we just said, is around current market value. And that is what that trade would look like. Now, let's quickly, again, gloss over this, right? 36 days, right? Let's say Amazon hits 225, right? You're going to have to sell your shares at 225 on July 11th, right? But if Amazon stays below 225, your 100 shares will not be sold. And then the following month, you can run the play again and collect more of that juicy premium. That is essentially what a covered call is. I like to look at it. I know it's not the right way to look at it, blah, 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 blah. It's just the way I like to look at things. Is I like to look at it as kind of renting out my shares. Right? That's just straight up what it is. Like for me, I'm like, hey, I'm putting my shares out there on a monthly basis and collecting rent. Now, obviously, all the premiums we talk about in this video, guys, are all educational examples only at the time of me recording this. These numbers will look different. And if you want any of the calculators and stuff, it's free inside our Facebook group. I want you guys to actually go use this stuff. Link will be in the description of today's video. Okay, so let's now talk about, right, because that sounds great, right? If we actually, let's say we bought our shares around 211, a month later, we sell them for 225, we collected premium. If we end up selling our shares, we're collecting $1,400 in appreciation for a total profit of a little over $1,600. And then we sell our shares, we get back all of our money that from selling, and then we can run like a cash secured put on something else. Okay, that's the play. Is it worth it? Is it an actual cheat code? All right, let's talk about it. Let's talk about the biggest risk right now of selling a covered call. Okay, so I like to go just quickly back over to just the basic, chart here on Amazon. We'll go out about 5 years, right? Now, over the past 5 years, right, we'll go right at the bottom here. I mean, okay, so right here you could see Amazon was trading about 5 years ago for $122, and today it's trading for $210. All right. We'll even use this example a little bit more recent, right? In December 2022, Amazon dropped to, around 85. Let's assume that you bought 100 shares around $85, and then you ran your covered call, the following month on your 85 for like $100, right? You did like $100, right? So let's just kind of put that in the calculator. Let's just say you bought 100 shares around $85 when it had a huge drop, right? You bought 100 shares, so your cost basis is $85, right? Your strike of your option that you said you're willing to sell for, we'll just say 100, because one thing with this example, guys, if it dropped down this far, like they're probably the premium probably wouldn't have been worth it at 116, or even if anything, right? Because it most likely didn't foresee a rally it getting up to like this 140 level, right? So you most likely in that situation wouldn't have done a covered call at 140 because it would be like no premium. You would have probably done something around $100. Okay, you would have done something around $100, right? So we'll just say your strike of option here is $100, right? For profit on shares of 1,500, if you would have, which you would have had to sell because it rallied all the way to $140, you would have had to sell your shares that you bought at 85 for $100, and you would have missed all that upside. Let's just leave the premium around that because it most likely would have been around like $200. Let's just assume for the sake of this educational example. Now, let's say you sold your shares here around for $100, right? Just about like, let's just say, in this example, a month later, right? You sold them for 100, all right? And then it rallied all the way to about 140. You would have missed out on all of that upside, right? And that's the biggest risk of covered calls, right? You miss out on all of this upside. Now, is that a bad thing? Is that a good thing? Like, obviously it's not a good thing. Missing out on gains is never a good thing. But one thing that I've come to at least look at covered calls on is, listen, I've done a lot of stupid things with trading in my life. And one of the dumb things that I've done is thinking that I know how to pick, buy, and hold stocks. Right. At the end of the day, if we look at the chart, right, over time with Amazon, just over the past 5 years, right, if we bought it here at the bottoms around 125-ish, it's currently trading at 228. You would have made $100 per share. Is that good? Yeah, it's fantastic. But for me, what I like to focus on is premium generation and actual income generation from my option selling portfolio. As much as it sucks, and I'll be the first one to tell you, right? As much as it sucks, like the feeling you probably have, I've had it a lot. I've kind of like tried my best to emotionally detach myself from fictitious gains, because most of you, which will argue with me, is like, hey, Pete, you bought them around 85 and you sold them here, right? Well, most of you that, let's say you did buy them at 80, which most of you wouldn't because you were scared, right? Like now you're saying you would, but you probably didn't. Just like many people at the start of April, did you buy it at 171? No, you ran scared. Most people run scared when the fear and greed index is an extreme fear, right? They're scared. They don't know what to do, right? So same thing with when it dropped down to here in 2022. A lot of people weren't buying it. They were still really, really scared to buy shares, right? Most people, right? The algorithms are out there, loving the opportunity, but most human traders like me and you, we were scared, right? So with that said, this strategy forces me to kind of take profits when I can. Now, is that good? For me, yes. Right? For me, yes. Because let's say I did end up, buying some shares here around $85 and I said I'm going to sell them at 100. I'm still making a profit. Like I still turned a profit, and I'm not going to beat myself up over making a profitable trade. Maybe, like, because in your case, let's say you held on to 140, most likely you just kept holding. You didn't sell. I don't care what anybody says. This is my YouTube channel, and I do what I want. Well, and that's the reality, right? Like these are my opinions, guys. I'm not a financial advisor. I'm a dude on the internet, and I literally have no idea what I'm even talking about. All right. But with that said, for me, I oftentimes always thought I was making gains when I would just see a number on a screen, and I've kind of like left that behind. Like that's like my buy and hold portfolio, major Vanguard index funds. You guys, I've had videos on this channel about the 5 funds that I just buy and hold stuff, don't touch it, don't sell options on. I get exposed to all this stuff already. But I switched how I look at option selling years ago to look at it as a business. Listen, you're like, let's say you run a business right now. One of your competitors might be doing 10 times better than you, but you're still doing really well. You're still doing 2-3 times well, right? Even though he might be 10x times the size of you, you're still turning a profit and creating a good income for yourself from your business. And that's the way I look at selling options. I'm not here to like have fictitious gains or just a paper, right? Or like a paper gains on a screen. That's not what I'm looking at. My whole thing with this is did I make a profitable trade or not? Like, that's it. That's literally the only thing I care about. Look, there's always going to be like, oh, wow, we could, if we held on and then sold at the top of 230. But again, you're not taking into account your emotional discipline here. You probably didn't sell at 237 because you probably thought it was going to 250 or 300, right? Like, again, you probably didn't buy on the dip because you thought it was over, right? Like the world was coming to an end with tariffs, right? Like so I need to, like, for me, I realize like I have to emotionally detach myself from from this. And the way I did do that was with covered calls, right? Covered calls kind of forced me to sell. Some of you are like, oh man, like, I got him at 85. Now you're trying to fix your trade and you like roll it out and you're giving back some of your premium. And then you've turned something into that was your plan into something now that's costing you money and now you're losing money. Now it could make sense. Obviously with rolling, you could take into account what your new appreciation sale would be, et cetera, et cetera. Absolutely. Definitely recommend that, right? So you could see, hey, where the numbers make sense, especially if it's a stock you actually want to own, but don't throw your plan out the window, right? Focus on what your ROI on collateral you want to be. Okay. And this is going to be different for all of us. Now, what is ROI on collateral? Well, that is this, right? It is basically your average purchase price of your 100 shares that you're willing to sell, right? And your premium is being divided by that, right? And that's giving, in this example, like for example, 8,500, right? Or 8,500, and then premium divided by the 8,500 gives us the 3% return. Okay, that's what that is. Okay, so me personally, I like to be in that 1 to 3% range. Some of you like to be degenerate and you like to go to stuff that's like 7, 8, 9% range. For me, I don't like doing that stuff because that's where you get into a situation where you get into a stock, you get assigned, and then you're not even able to do covered calls. That's a huge L, right? That's a huge L, right? I can't stress it enough. I've shifted my mindset on how I run like the wheel strategy and covered calls. And I have found if I just focus on like one key thing, I treat it like a business, right? That means that I'm going to be happy if I turn a profit, regardless if I miss out on some fictitious gains anyway. Okay, I'm comfortable with that. And number two, I don't go into stocks I have no idea about. Right. I take a lot of like pride in my own watch list that I've built over many, many years of doing this. So I focus in on the companies that even if I do get assigned, I don't mind holding long term. You really get burned in those two ways. You get into companies, right, that you have no conviction in, or you're just premium chasing, right? And we're premium chasers for sure. But like when you get into stuff that you're just focused on premium and you're not, you have no conviction in, you're gonna get burned. You just are, right? And number two, focus on actually making a profit. Like I'm so sick and tired of hearing like the argument of like, oh, you're missing all this upside, but you're not selling anyway. Anything can happen in this market. I'm already exposed to like the Amazons and all the best companies in my buy and hold portfolio. So why would I give a crap if I'm missing out on some upside? Right now, you can say the argument. I get it. Like with, like for example, like Palantir. I know a lot of you like were probably upset. Like, oh man, I got Palantir at 850, right? And then I sold my shares at 15, right? And then maybe I got some cash liquid puts around like this 14 range, and then I sold them at 24, right? And then oh man, if I just held on, it would be at 132. That's the risk you gotta take. That's the biggest risk of covered calls for me. Look, I at the end of the day, if I just focus on going back to, it could have gone the other way because we've seen it come and go. We've seen great companies that have like moonshots and then crash, right? And then I focus, did I make profitable trade? Did I not? Dude, if you didn't lose money, what are you beating yourself up about? I don't know. Like, that's just for me. Like, dude, like, don't come to me like complaining that you missed out on fictitious gains when like you still turned a profit and you stuck to the ROI on collateral goals that you set out for yourself. Guys, don't forget, drop a comment down below and I will personally give you our small account starter kit. This is perfect for those of you just getting into selling options. Also, if you're somebody that wants to have a more handheld approach with me and the awesome people inside of our mastermind of Option Seller School, click the first link in the description of today's video. You'll learn more about what the quad option strategy is, how it can fit into your lifestyle. Because for me, guys, I got 3 kids now. I've got my own businesses and work that I'm working on. I'm not somebody that sits in front of the screens all day and day trades or anything. I think the quad option strategy fits into pretty much every single person's lifestyle out there that wants to be involved in the markets. Besides that, if you don't want to, buy and hold is the way to go. But if you're interested in joining this amazing mastermind and this amazing group of high net worth individuals, I absolutely love talking to them every single day. And you want to learn more about that, click the link down below in the description of today's video. It is invite only now. My one big thing, and this is not like some marketing tactic, guys, is this group is like people that I would actually hang out with, play an actual round of golf with, be able to spend hours and hours with. I consider them like friends, right? So the reason I'm telling you this is I don't want toxic people. I don't want get rich quick people. I don't want not level headed people. If you don't have a solid foundation in your life, right, it's probably not a good thing. But if you're a cool person, right, and you like what you hear here on the channel, I can almost bet that you're going to love what you see here and see inside of Option Sellers School. So click the link down below in the description of today's video. You can learn more about the quad option strategy, and you can book a call with us, and we'll get you inside of Option Sellers School here in the next few days, guys. Remember, sell options, collect premiums, repeat. I'll see y'all tomorrow.